morning. Hi. I'm in a strange space, but my heart brings me to you through this video. And this time I actually have a clue about what's going to be said, though not completely, of course. I don't plan these things out. Yesterday and the day before, it took about 24 hours to get it done. I recorded an introductory video and uploaded that and the video, The Awakening, by Max Egan. And I am hopeful that watching this didn't traumatize anyone. It's difficult. It's really difficult. We're so used to having our blinders on and not looking at things. And that goes for all of us. If we were to see what really goes on behind the scenes, it's just too shocking. But I found Maxwell's presentation to be balanced, because you can't look away and refuse to see. So on the one hand, it's important to know and to acknowledge the darkness that is, the things that happen, the pain and the challenge of life in 3D. And you can't very well heal if you're unwilling to address the illness, the sore, whatever it is. But throughout, the message was positive, that we are in control of this, to step back and realize everything is energy, and to a very great extent that it's an illusion, this solidity. I'll have to find it so I can reference it, but from science, it has been said that the entire physical solid substance in a human body will fit in a thimble and only half fill it, because all of your atoms are 99.99999% empty. That's pretty darn empty. I mean, you're hardly there. And so, what is illusion? What is reality? The mind has opinions, and that's all the mind is good for, opinions. And the latest, best way of looking at things, which is the way that seems to work out and be the most useful. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Believing it is where the challenges come in. So anyway, I uploaded the videos, and I knew the very sensitive ones might have a problem with some of the images. I had a problem with them, but you know, we need to get on with our healing, and sometimes that means, often that means dealing with difficult things. All right, moving on. I don't surf the web too much, but I do visit people that subscribe to me or invite me to be friends with them. I go have a look when I have time, which is usually, at their channel, and I often love what I find there and enjoy it, spend some time with their favorites or their uploads, and you know, inspiration often flows from that. And so somewhere along the way, someone recommended a video called Kymatica. And I watched it yesterday, and I was thoroughly devastated. At the end of it, it showed such cold, callous cruelty to animals very graphically. And so I don't recommend anybody watch it. I'm sorry, I don't. When we turn off the television, the media, we don't realize it, but we have been desensitized by those things. We've had to put an armor over our sensitivity and our soul in order to see the things that come on the screen. It's too gruesome. And so we divorce ourselves from ourselves in order to view this. And so when you turn off the media and quit taking that in, your sensitivity returns. Well, thanks Source for that, right? That's very good. But then when you see such images and you hear the pathetic cries that they make, these little creatures, and my heart bleeds just as much for the people so sound asleep that they could be behaving that way. It was just so cold, so business as usual. And so I wept, and I sobbed, and I felt like I'd been raped, I'd been attacked, I had been brutalized by that. And I've worked through some of that, maybe a good part of it, I don't know. I'm glad I have little animals in the house here that I can love up on. And now, as I'm playing with my little dog, he's a great cuddler. As I love him, I'm consciously loving every animal on the planet, everywhere, in every situation they're in. And we can do that. We're energy beings. Let's not limit ourselves. We can expand out. Now, when you're in pain like that, well, the first thing you have to do is just be with the pain. You know, there's no doing there. There's just a being. And you just have to feel what you're feeling and not run away from it. That's an important part. But there's a natural desire to do something. You know, it's good not to act on it right away. My first inclination was to leave a nasty comment on the video and warn people away from it, but I didn't do that. I mean, people with the best intentions of heart do these things and put these things together. And so let's leave that alone. There's no blame here. I'm not blaming anyone. Maybe in this way I'm putting out the warning to be ready. I wasn't ready, and it was maybe extra devastating because of that. I don't know. So what came to me though, and I'll probably say it wrong, is the Hooponopono. I don't know if you know about that. I'm going to put a link in the description field and in the transcript to a 6 or 7 minute video that will tell you about it. It's very simple though, and it takes the natural movement of the soul anyway, and it follows that. So just as I could love every animal on the planet and caress them as I'm loving and playing with my little pet, it's all energy. We're energy, and it's all us. Everything is us. And an important thing to realize is if something comes into your awareness, it's a reflection of you. We still have a tendency to want to point fingers and want to say, oh, I could never do that. I could never be that way. I could never harm an animal. Well, guess what, sweetheart? You've had loads of incarnations. You've done that too. None of us are guilty. None of us are innocent. It just is what it is. This is energy. Everything is the one. And we contain all of it. Now, we can try to convince ourselves that we don't, but that's a false separating out that we're doing there. And a Hooponopono is the best thing that I know of that can heal that. I am so not any kind of an authority or an expert on this. I'm just somebody who stumbled upon it. So don't look to me for any, anything solid, but I'll share my understanding, and then you take your research forward, if you will, and get it from more solid sources. It's out there. There was, and this is from Hawaii, and it's an ancient practice. It still goes on today. I don't know that what's done today truly reflects what was done in the ancient times. I just don't know. But I know that it works. And for the scientific or the Western mind among us, it will be satisfied. There's a doctor, his first name is Len, I don't know his last name, who was called to be the counselor, the psychiatrist for a lockdown ward in a barbed wire surrounded section of an institution, mental institution. And he was a practitioner of Hooponopono. And what you do with this is you recognize that things, and that goes for all of us. If we were to see what really goes on behind the scenes, it's just too shocking. But I found Maxwell's presentation. Good morning. Hi. I'm in a strange space, but my heart brings me to you through this video. And this time I actually have a clue about what's going to be said, though not completely, of course. I don't plan these things out. Yesterday and the day before, it took about 24 hours to get it done. I recorded an introductory video and uploaded that, and to be balanced, because you can't look away and refuse to see. So on the one hand, it's important to know and to acknowledge the darkness that is, the things that happen, the pain and the challenge of life in 3D. The video, The Awakening, by Max Egan. And I am hopeful that watching this didn't traumatize anyone. It's difficult. It's really difficult. We're so used to having our blinders on and not looking